Okay, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. It's been a while since I've live streamed. Just wanted to find out how things are going these days. And okay, I'm really. What's up with my camera? Keeps just going in and out. Do I need to switch cameras? Hold on one second. I'm going to switch cameras real quick. Oh, now it's fine. Go figure. Okay, so it's been a moment, and one of the things is I've actually had people reach out. It's like, how come you're not doing the live streams anymore? I'd been, deciding whether to keep doing them, to do them at, like a time in the middle of the week or something, see if more people were interested. So I'm just going to be experimenting around, see how Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific works for folks. And this is a great opportunity if you have any kind of questions about the real estate market, what's going on, to ask them. And of course, I'm going to be going through the numbers, make sure, and it's out again. What in the world? Okay, I'm just going to switch cameras. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, cameras are switched. I don't know. It's a whole new camera. It's supposed to be one of those that does, like sits down in the middle of your screen and stuff. And it's doing it too, in a way. It's not just really doing what I expect. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to go over the numbers, see how the real estate market is doing, and hopefully somebody asks questions. If you are tuning in at a later time, one, I would like to know if you prefer live streams in the middle of the week, after you finished dinner and everything, got back from work, or if you prefer live streams during a Sunday night. I'd really like to know so I can cater to what your needs are. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. I'm going to have to open this up. Here we go. So let me go over here and share this for a moment. So what we're doing is looking at what happened over the last few weeks. Guy in my office, he actually tracks this. I know you guys like me to do this live, or so I show my numbers, but today I'm just going to show this so you can kind of see what's going on here. Hopefully you can see my, here we go. Hopefully you can see my cursor here. As you can see, so December 6th for you military types, you can see we have 4,052 active homes. We are now down to 3,069. So that is a 700 home decrease. So I get a lot of people who are wishful thinking. They're going like, hey, I believe the housing market is about to crash by 30%. I keep hearing that over and over. It's the magical 30% crash. It didn't happen. And right now, the home market is really stable. So you look at this. 4054, 3993, 3863, 3713, 3544, 3577, 3580, 3448, and now 3369. So what is the common factor that's going on here, other than some fair stabilization? Went from 3544 to 3577. It's been going down. So we have less and less homes that are available as we head into the spring market. And simultaneously, if you notice, interest rates have been going down. Let me see what. I'm not looking at local. I'm looking at national here. So this is Mortgage News Daily. I'll throw it up. Oh my God. This is national. Let me see if I can put it in front of this little camera, see if I can show it. I should have done something ahead of time. Look at that. 6.63% on a 30-year fixed and 5.95% on a 15. But look here. FHA, 6%, 30-year. 6.04%. Again, I don't understand. It should be the same or less for VA. people who served our country, yeah, that's right. I have an interest, but 6.04% is the national, and I've had local lenders tell me they can beat that. So 6.63%. That is pretty magical, and it's going to really drive a lot of stuff, because I think interest rates are going to go down even more. And if they hit like under 6%, I think the market is going to go absolutely nuts this year. It's going to be multiple offers. Let's go look at the rest of the stuff that's going on here. So if you look at days on market, so you got the average and the median. The median is a more accurate figure, because let's say somebody takes a house, and it goes under contract, and then the person can't perform, or they can't come to agreement on like condition for like inspections and stuff like that. Well, it goes back, and that's a lot of that goes into the average for the median. So really, you're looking at a month on the market. If you're to go list your home right now, it should sell within a month. Solds. Look at this. Now you see these articles all the time lately. It's like, okay, we got the lowest number of sales in all these years. Well, if you have so few houses and the prices are fairly high, look at this. They've been pretty darn steady over the last few months. It's been about 6 months of steadiness. There are fewer people can afford a house. So that's kind of natural. And that's why I keep saying right now, your best bet is probably to look at a new home, because, they buy down the interest rate, they pay your closing costs. Now, from what I've been seeing lately, what happened is a lot of them, they bought down the interest rate, and it was based on, like they kind of saw what the market was going, and they paid to buy down that interest rate. Well, the problem that you're having is interest rates are coming down, but they bought it at that certain amount. So it's not as good right now, like especially when it's not 8%. But I have seen some that are doing 2.99% on 2-1 buy downs. So if you're interested in that, I got those. And I was talking to some lenders this week, and there's some really fascinating stuff going on. One lender, if you're a VA buyer, they give you $2,000, but they also have a grant if you buy in certain places, and some of them are pretty good places. Like, it's not going to be Summerlin or any place like that, or Green Valley Ranch. But if you're buying, and it's like, as a matter of fact, like Aliante, some of the nicer parts of North Las Vegas, they give you a $7,500 grant. So if you're a veteran, you still get the $7,500 and the $2,000, which means if you're getting that's what, $9,500, that pays your closing costs. And this lender only charges on conventional loans $1,500. They call that their origination fee. And that's not an origination fee. It's about $500,000 house, and somebody has a 1% origination fee, that's 5% already. I can run through the numbers here in a minute, and we can see how that affects like payments, because my goodness. And then today I got one lender who sent me something. They got a program that's in-house that gives 3.5% to 5% for your closing cost. But see, here's the thing. This lender I know doesn't charge origination. And we're talking about, so like, let's say do a FHA loan. If you get the 5%, now I got to talk to them to find out what their interest rates are and everything. It covers your down payment and your closing cost. So that's a really good one. I really got to get with them to find that out. So let's look at some of these others, and then let's actually, I want to look at what's been going on for the last little bit. So if you go from 2020 to 2024, if you look at the beginning of 2020, we had 5,274 homes available. If you look at the beginning of 2021, 3,153 homes available. Those of you who are around for 2021, those are the days when you were paying $50,000 over. So those days, I mean, you don't want them to come back, but you can see there's not much of a difference between the numbers. See, look, beginning of, as a matter of fact, let's get closer. So this is the closest figure. So 4796, 2607. Of course, this is when you were paying $50,000 over for a house out your own pocket. 1929 for 2002. Again, when you were paying all that money. Now, this is when the market was correcting. 5,436. Now we're down to 3,369, which I'm sure you can see is about 2,000 less. So as far as housing market crashing, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But what I do wish that does happen is interest rates continue to come down. I find these interest rates to be just a little bit ridiculous. And as far as that goes, I've talked about that. Let's just look at the market, see what's going on. This is the MLS. So if you look, we got, let's go for the last 7 days, 873 new listings, 165 back on the market. Price decreases. Look at this, 517. Let me make this a little bit bigger. 517 price decreases. Never understand the increases. A lot of those are mistakes. They priced it too low. Matter of fact, pricing too low is, I don't know, a misnomer, because talk about price. I can remember one time I listed this house. It was down in Rhodes Ranch. I was in a hurry trying to get someplace, and I fat fingered in a number that was 100,000 under what it was supposed to be listed for. Before I left my office to head out, I got a phone call on it. Before I got downstairs, I got a phone call. Getting into my car, I get a phone call. I back out, I get a phone call. And I'm like, okay, what in the world's going on? That's not something ain't right. And I asked, what price do they have there? And he was like, he tells me the price. I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, it was put in there incorrectly. It's a higher price. And I just kept getting phone call after phone call, because folks believe they're going to buy that house for that. And it's kind of like I'll get a buyer who will call me up and they'll go like, oh, I just saw this nice house over blah, 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 and it's this price. I'm like, nah, the agent put that in correctly or something. Over there, that house isn't going to sell for that. Then you call the agent, they're like, oh my goodness, I fat fingered in the wrong number. If there's that great of a bargain, one of two things happen. There was a mistake, and there is no advertising thing that says you have to sell it for the price that was in the MLS. That's number one. And number two, it may have been purposely like that, because when you get that kind of action for a house that was 100,000 underpriced, or the cases where I talked about, and sometimes you'll sit around and you'll tell the people, it's like, you're not going to buy it for that price. And they're just sitting there in their own little world. Oh, and it has such a beautiful backyard and pool, and I could just see my family in it. And it's like, you're not going to buy that house. Now, I did have a case where it was like that, and it was on purpose. And I told the person again, you're not going to buy that house. And I called up the agent. I knew her. Her name's Alicia. And I go, Alicia, hey, I'm calling about your house over on 123 Main Street. And she goes, you know, that house was priced that way to get all these people, bidding on it. I mean, you know better than that. you'd be like, yeah, I know better than that. You keep telling folks. But anyway, that's the thing. You can never underprice a house. If you put it down there too low, the market's going to bid it up just like eBay in the good old days. So let's go ahead. There's still no questions. Okay, we'll push on. But like I was saying, if you overprice a house, you're not doing yourself any favors. The houses that sell in a week or two are the ones that are right priced, the ones that are on the market for a long time. It was people going, I need this. The buyer doesn't care what you need. They care what the market is doing. Just like when people were buying houses and paying 30 and 50,000 over in this market, a lot more in some other markets. Folks were like, people weren't going like, oh, they shouldn't be paying me an extra $50,000. I feel that's unfair. Well, think about it from the other end. Okay, so that is a lot of houses under contract. That is like 1,000 houses under contract. That's amazing. Sold 7/11, expired 171. So in the last week, and most of these are from this morning because most agents set the last day of the month, the first day of the month for the house to expire. You'll find that a good number of these that actually expired are people who overprice their homes. Never do it. Okay, cool. That covers that. Still looking to see if anybody has any questions. I don't know if I want to go too far on this because, you know, I got to get my muscle back going from doing live streams. And usually I have a question or two. And I see people here. I guess they're just looking. If you are, there's no big problem about that. But make sure you know, if you have a question, just ask. If you don't want anyone to see the question, you just want like a response, I'll respond without putting your stuff up there. No big deal. As far as where the things are going, you know, Jerome Powell kept the rates the same this week, indicating that he may not lower until June. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad because, you know, it would have been really nice for them to lower, especially by the spring market, because, I mean, that'll give a lot of relief. And there's one thing I wanted to talk about that I thought was like really interesting. I saw this article where the person was saying, given the advice of date the rate, marry the house and date the rate was like bad advice or whatever, or I guess in some states that could be illegal. I actually had a lender, which is the funniest thing because all I hear is from lenders saying, you know, date the rate, marry the house. This person left a comment and they said they were a lender and said that was irresponsible advice. So let me share this for a sec. So I was wondering about it, and I was thinking about, you know, numbers. So at the top of the market, you know, just here in Las Vegas, median house is about $450. We're going to assume, since I've talked to a lot of lenders, 5% standard. At the top of the market, we're almost at 8%. As a matter of fact, we peaked over 8. I'm just going to use 8 for today. I'm going to take away stuff like the property tax PMI, just so we can have something here, and we'll calculate. So that house, your mortgage payment would have been $3,136 at the top of the interest rate market. Let's turn that around. Remember, I'm not quoting interest rates. I'm just showing you what I have here in front of me from Mortgage Rate Daily. 3136. We got a calculator out so I don't have to, you know, do math in public. Let's see what the interest rate would be if you refinance that, because they're all saying refinance. Remember, date the rate. Let's calculate it. 27 38. So if you were to refinance today, you bought the house at the top of the market, and refinance today, you'd save almost $400 a month. As we're going into, some changes, we have lower. You just saw it. You have lower houses out there. Interest rates are about to go down even more. It was down 0.12% or basis points, as they say, just overnight. What's going on here? Okay. Stock market is up to record highs. We're about to have a run going on here. I don't know how good it's going to be. The biggest prayer that I have is that it does not repeat what it did the last time, where people had to pay $50,000 out of pocket, because that was not a good time. Still no questions. I've been just kind of dancing a little bit to see if I got any questions. I do have a question for the people who are watching. I see some live folks here right now. Do you like it here on a Thursday night? And is this a good one to keep? Or should I go back to my Sundays or split it up between Sundays and Thursdays? I would really like to know. Okay. Anyone who is watching this on the replay, please give me that answer, because I'd like to see what people want to do so I can provide that to them. But anyway, interest rates are continuing to go down. And one thing I did forget to mention, at 8%, the home values were actually less. So that person can refi, and they have probably equity in their home now. So I don't know, probably by the end of this year, I'd probably see it going back to the high that we had before. As far as advice to anyone, you always have folks who are going, a real estate agent is always going to tell you it's a good time to buy, a good time to sell. I'm going to say this much. It is a good time to buy. I don't think it's a good time to sell. I really don't think it's a good time to sell right now. And the reason being is I think springtime this year is going to be better than it has been, especially last year. And you're probably going to sell your house in the first weekend if you price it right. Not only that, you're going to have multiple offers. And even though I don't want it to go over, people offer over. We may go back to the good old days. And I don't mean 2021, 2022 good old days. I mean like 2000, 1990. Like 2019, 2018, where during the spring, the good houses did sell for 5 to 10, not 30 to 50, 5, 10,000 over asking price for the houses that were priced properly, and people are walking away with what they need, a good price. I think that is going to happen this year. So I'm going to give you advice that no other realtor gives you. I would not list a house until the end of March. Somebody who's going to probably want to strangle me for that and going like, can't you see there are no houses? It's like, my job is to help. And right now, as a seller, if you can wait until the end of March, I would wait until the end of March. If you're a buyer, end of March may not be good for you, because if interest rates go down another 0.5%, it'd be cheaper to buy, but you're going to be paying more for the house. And interest rates will probably continue to go down. I don't know where they're going to land. Nobody knows. Nobody predicted 8%. That's all I got. I do not have any comments. I was going to put some more news out there, but like I said, I'm trying to get my live streaming back, where I kind of know what I'm doing every week. Uh, any suggestions you want to see on these live streams? I've had people who wanted to come on and like assist, like lenders and stuff like that. If you actually want to see them, let me know. I'm also considering for these live streams to actually have like little mini, I don't know what to call them, lessons. So like how to sell your house, how to buy your house, stuff like that. Because a lot of people, uh, there's a lot of mistakes out there to be made. Your goal as a buyer is to get the most money possible. Your goal, I'm sorry, as a buyer is to save the most money possible. You got to look at that and go like, save the most money now or over time, because people who bought at 8%, yeah, they paid some, extra and everything, but a lot of them, when they did it right, when it hit 8%, a lot of the sellers were doing 2-1 and 3-1 buy downs. If you're at 8%, you got a 2-1 buy down, you're paying 6% anyway. So now it's the time to refi. So I would be looking at the best rates. That's one a lot of people will do. They may go to the bank that they work with, and that can be a big mistake. And they go like, hey, interest rates have gone down. What can you do for me? I know a lot of the banks are right now, they're refining for free. It's something they had to do because they realized that no one was going to buy a house when they knew interest rates were going to come down eventually. I will go to that bank, and I may go to one or two others, and I will see what's going on. Do you believe it's going to come down even more? I believe it's going to come down more. If I had to refi, I'd probably wait until later in the year, especially since the Fed has indicated they're going to be lowering their rates, which is going to have an effect on the overall economy. I would wait to refi until like after the summer or something. And I mean, you could probably get 2% less. And especially if you got someone to do a 3-1, 3-2-1 or 2-1 buy down or something. Yeah. There's one caveat people don't realize. That money was prepaying interest. If you refi now, because the interest rates are, especially if they hit, 2%, I mean, another 0.5%, you're paying like 6%. If you refi at 6%, especially when it goes from the 2-1 to the 1, and you're coming, back at 1 and it's 7%, and you refi at 6, that 1% from that year, you get that as a refund as the buyer. The seller prepaid that interest. So that's one of the things to keep in mind. Some of the other things. So that's if you bought a house, during the high times, start looking for your refi options. If you want to buy a house, start looking at before interest rates go down anymore and housing market gets any tighter, to go ahead and get whatever house you can get. I'm sorry, a good house before it gets really hard. As I've always said, the best thing to do is look for the people who overprice their houses, because after about 60 days, some of them will have that come to Jesus moment. When they have that come to Jesus moment, they may take your offer when it's fairly priced, and sometimes maybe lowball because they thought that they could get away with it, or they played the I can wait. Not too many people can wait. Every time I've had a seller who overpriced their home, and they would say the same thing. I know it's overpriced, but I'm willing to wait. And then the next day they call me. It's like, have we had any offers on the house? I've literally had that happen. A week later, how come no one's seeing my house? It's because it's overpriced. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Don't overprice your house. I know it's not popular. For buyers, if you're having a hard time finding a home, get with your realtor. There are things they can do. If you've ever heard of a golden letter, if you're trying to live in a certain neighborhood that you like, you need to go for that. And they can send these letters out and they can actually scout that neighborhood for you. Some things that are coming up, and this is no joke stuff. Any of you been keeping up with the news? You know about all of these. Man, I gotta say this in a way that doesn't get me in trouble because lawyers like to sue. All of these lawsuits that are going on. Well, without talking about the lawsuits, I'm gonna have to talk about the lawsuits. There is fallout from these lawsuits. Now, a lot of agents, 80% of them don't have you sign a buyer broker agreement. That is about to change because it's a fallout from the lawsuits that if you do not have a buyer broker agreement in place, the seller does. This is serious. The seller does not have to pay the agent's commission. And if you want the seller to pay your agent's commission, you need to have that buyer broker agreement. You get it? This is something that is going on right now. It is real. And we were informed today, my company, because of the fallout and because of the parts they're not talking about, they're talking about all this other stuff. You have to be in contract with that realtor in order to do a transaction. And it can't be done. This is one that blew me away. It's like a prenuptial agreement. Like if you sign the prenuptial agreement too close to the actual wedding, it can be thrown out. Well, you can't sign the buyer broker agreement because, like, when I have someone sign a buyer broker agreement, it's like, we found the house. Here's a buyer broker agreement just to cover this new crap. Now it's like it has to be done a minimum of 1 day prior to you actually filling out the contract for that house. This is like real stuff. It's not me telling you and making it up. I want you to go and research it because you're going to find it. This is real stuff. And things are about to get a little bit different. They've made it harder to buy a house. And it is what it is. I did want to, let me see if I have got enough time. I wanted to introduce this today. Nick hasn't sent me the rest of my stuff, but this is a friend of mine, Nick Niehaus. He is, it's all this AI stuff. Hold on. Let me see here. Hope I can bring it up. No. Yeah, he's got this really new, cool new AI. And what it does, I'm trying to find it for you. It helps you find your perfect, and why am I, geez Louise. Let me see if I do it this way. Nope. So I really wanted to show you guys this because it's so neat. It's actually called Neighborhood Matchmaker. And what it does is once you, it's probably closed down this portion of it now. Yeah, I think he has. So I'm waiting for my link because I'm testing the AI for him. And what it does is you can actually put in all of these parameters that you want for a neighborhood for a start, because there's always going to be someone, you're staring. No, this isn't staring. This is, I want a house that has parks. And let's see if I can figure out from this thing what it is now that he is shut down. On that portion of it, waiting for get my thing. It has dog parks. It's near shopping centers. It's within close distance because got all these stupid rules. I can't say it's within walking distance. It's got because that's discriminating against somebody because if they can't walk. I'm sorry, this stuff is getting too ridiculous for me. It's like those men say I was just an old horse Marine. I was in the Air Force, but just silly stuff gets on my nerves, and it's just getting sillier and sillier and sillier. But anyway, so I'm going to try to get this out. Hopefully by the next time I have this, I've received my personal link and embed code so I can show it to you and share it out, and you can go and do it yourself. But it's really, really cool. Also, if you are looking to buy a house, I'm not doing any kind of promo right now. Some AARP, and you don't have to, I don't think you have to sign in with your membership. I'll have to check. They have a new livability score thing. This thing is pretty neat. So you can put in like an address or something like that, and it'll give you all of these factors on the livability of the neighborhood. So that's going to become, when I do my monthly stuff, the livability scores. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say it. The walkability scores and all that stupid stuff. I hate stupid stuff. I spent too much of my life, in the military to sit around and worry about stupid stuff. But walkability score calculations and all this stuff, I'm trying to get more into it because people ask questions like how many, and I try to add it to it, and it gets more and more like how many were cash transactions and all that stuff. As you see, my last one, I did that, and I hope to keep doing it and growing it. Anybody has any ideas? Because the market updates, the big monthly ones, these are for you. Okay. So when I do the monthly market updates, they're for you. And I want to put things in there people talked about, like a person who wanted to know, what's the percentage of cash sales and things like that, so they know how to compete. I'm adding the walkability score. I forgot to do it for the last one. Since the last one, I've learned about this new AARP tool. And then I'm on the test for my friend Nick here for his new AI that's going to tell you like the neighborhood based on your criteria. No fair housing issues on it. It's based on other stuff like the parks in the area and stuff like that. But interestingly enough, and he's actually, maybe why he pulled it, because we had some 1-1, and I said, well, you know what? It kept, no matter what I put in there, the number one choice was Summerlin. Probably because number one choice is Summerlin, but what part of Summerlin? There's actually four, because you got like Summerlin South, you got Sun City, Summerlin, all that stuff. So he says he's going to try to break the AI where it breaks it down into subdivisions and stuff. So, you want to go like, hey, I don't mind driving, 10 minutes to everything. And I want everything at schools and parks and bars and nightclubs or whatever. Or there are no nightclubs really in Summerlin, but the bars and whatever, and hangout spots and shopping. And then it'll just go like, you need to be in Kestel. That's the new one. I got to head out to Kestel for something this weekend. You need to be in Kestel Commons. That's what he's trying to do next. So hopefully we'll get that out for you guys. Can't believe it. Normally on my Sundays, I would have some back and forth comments. Not this time. But like I said, watching this again, please put down if you like this time so I can figure out the best time for you guys. Any questions? Go ahead and ask them. And I'm not even going to do all of that stuff you're supposed to do about like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Since there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this. And I'm going to get on my Oculus 3. Yeah. And I'm actually Meta Quest 3. And I'm going to play some more World War II games. I'm on this one right now, man. I am loving it. Got my full controls. I'm flying around, dropping bombs on Japanese ships and stuff, and shooting zeros out of the sky. I'm loving it. And I don't have enough fun, so I'm finding new ways to have fun, and also doing things like watching The Walking Dead all over again. I'm almost done with it. I've watched like an entire season in a weekend. But anyway, I'm going to end this. Hope you guys enjoy your weekends. Tell me what you guys enjoy to do for fun, because I was never much of a fun guy. So tell me what you do for fun also. Leave it down below. I will either see you next week at this time, or if a bunch of people said, well, no, we love the Sunday, you may see me on Sunday and Thursday. I don't know. Let's see. Bye.